Hi, welcome to Paranormal Kativity. I wanted to talk to you guys today about a place that used to exist, but no longer does, called Black Moon Manor. Ghost Adventures went to Black Moon Manor one time way back when. They actually refused to stay the night in it. From what I understand, they slept in a trailer in the driveway and wouldn't actually sleep in the building. It was haunted, but then they turned it into a haunted attraction, like completely gutting it and making it into a haunted house, and then everybody started saying that it was a fraud and there were some legal issues and they ended up demolishing the house, so it doesn't exist anymore, which is super sad. But I got to go in it before it was a haunted house, whenever they were starting to do the renovations to make it into a haunted house. The owner was one of my friend's friends, so we went there and got to kind of check it out. It was during the day. Really cool building, but there was like construction stuff everywhere. So they gave us like a little tour of it and I got to kind of feel out some stuff. I remember going up the stairs, which kind of like went up and around, and the first room that I went to, I believe it was on the right, there was a closet that I felt really uncomfortable by, and I kept getting weird vibes in that room. And then they told me later on that that was the room upstairs that they'd had a lot of activity in before in the past, which was really cool. And then down in the basement, they showed us this well that apparently a lady committed suicide by jumping down it like years and years before. And it was turned into a makeshift hospital for a little while, so there were lots of deaths, and it was one of the oldest homes in that county. So way back when, they used like the parlor part for a funeral home because it was like the most central location for a lot of areas to meet. A lot of death was associated with the house and it was just super creepy, but I was lucky enough to get to go in it. So in case you hadn't heard of it, there's a lot of controversy on if it's like legit or not. I've spoke to a few people who've also had, paranormal experiences themselves in the building or felt weird or creepy vibes or something while they were there. I feel like it was an actually haunted location that they tried to exploit into making it a money-making haunted attraction, and then after that it just kind of fizzled out. I just wanted to kind of share my experience with you guys at Black Moon Manor, and I will link below the Ghost Adventures episode if I can find it on YouTube, where they kind of go through it and show you around. They give you a lot more information. I do have my phone though, and I can look up a couple different things that maybe I didn't know. It looks like whenever they first got the home, they had a list of at least 200 people who died in it when it was a makeshift hospital for a little while. Now it looks like since then there was controversy on if there was a death ledger or record of the alleged smallpox outbreak, because now people are saying that they can't find one. It looks like the lady who supposedly died falling down the well, Ghost Adventures did some research and they never found record of the lady jumping down the well. It's been years since I watched the Ghost Adventures episode, but I guess there was no documentation to back that up. So that was just a story, possibly. Now, I do remember a story that I was told by the owner the day that we went to go visit it. They were all having a get-together. They had a lot of property, and so toward the back they were doing a bonfire and had some friends over. And I believe it was my friend, who I actually know, who's Bryce. I believe it was Bryce and the owner at the time were there together, and they were out in the back talking. From what I remember, Bryce saw somebody up by the front of the house, and then the owner at the time, who was named Matt, looked up and thought it was his girlfriend. And so they just assumed it was her. Some time had passed, they figured she'd gone into the house and just stayed there. Half an hour passed, and then she pulled down the driveway towards them. And they were like, "Weren't you up at the house?" And she was like, "No, I haven't been here." They went up to the house and were checking everywhere and they couldn't find anybody there. But they said like physically they really thought that was the girl that they were expecting to be there. There's another story for you about Black Moon Manor. Feel free to speculate and let me know what you think about the whole situation. But it was just a really neat haunted house. I'm kind of sad that it's gone, whether it was legit or not. It was a cool old home, and I'm very drawn to historical locations and especially ones that are kind of decrepit and falling apart and distressed. I just really love that aesthetic. So being in just kind of a shabby old house was very appealing to me. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye!